Hi, my name is Jack. I am a student at Amy Beale High School, and this is my digital story.
With that out of the way, let's talk about art.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
My whole life, I've been an artist. Since I could first hold a marker, I've been making masterpieces. Art has become a part of my self-expression and my identity, and now, I'd like to appease the capitalist overlords and turn it into a career. For my senior project, I did concept art for Ziapelta Games. For those who don't know what concept art is, allow me to explain. It's where you take concepts and turn them into art, sort of like the first draft of an essay but with drawings. I got to draw characters for their upcoming game, 6 Winners. I was honored that my mentor Phil would let me work on his game with him. Essentially, I would draw whatever ideas Phil had. Then, he'd take whatever chaos I gave him and use that as inspiration for the cards and what types of powers the characters would have in the game. After that, I would playtest with Alana, Phil's daughter. We always had so much fun goofing off while playing 6 Winners. The playtest went really well. Phil, Alana, and I all had really good synergy, and we would always bounce ideas off of each other on how to make the game better or the characters better. Seeing my art in the cards also really helped to motivate and inspire me. Playtesting and collaborating with Phil and Alana was easily the best part of my senior project. Actually doing the art, on the other hand, got to be a little more difficult. Character design is hard. It's really hard. The whole point is to create something that is iconic, unique, and recognizable. It's all about presentation and being able to spot the character in a crowd. So how do I do that with my designs? For some characters, it was really easy and I had a clear idea and I was inspired. Other characters, not so much. It got kind of hard when I had no idea what to do with them. Nothing looked right and it didn't feel like I was drawing the actual character. Phil, on the other hand, was always really happy and supportive of my art. Even though I want to go back and revise some of the characters, he seems to really like a lot of them. Alana had already drawn some references for the characters, so I used those for inspiration. We also had a Google Doc that we just filled with ideas for all of the characters. The one character that I had full creative liberty on was Lucia, and I'm really proud of how she turned out. Creative process is actually really difficult. Art doesn't just magically materialize anytime I'm around a tablet pen. It takes work and it takes patience. I held myself to an insanely high standard, and the pressure always got to me. On top of that, keeping up with school was also pretty difficult, and so I was just crushed by the expectations. A lot of emphasis was placed on the hours that I spent drawing and not enough emphasis on what I was creating. I experienced severe burnout and imposter syndrome because of this. I didn't feel like my art was good enough. I took an art dual credit in hopes of improving my art a little bit, but the teacher was condescending and would often tell me that my art was wrong with no further explanation, which, understandably was not really helpful. Some of the assignments did push me out of my comfort zone, but none of them were really helpful for what I was trying to do. Working for Phil was great. He's supportive of all my ideas and he listens to me, and he treats me as an equal instead of just some high school student. I learned that game design is all about trial and error, and that mistakes aren't necessarily a bad thing. I kind of already knew that, but it's hard to comprehend. My gut reaction to my mistakes is to hate them, but that's not Phil's. It's more like Bob Ross. He accepts that they happen and that they're a learning experience. When he asked for critiques on the game mechanics, he meant it. He never deflected anything. If we had a problem with the game mechanics, then he would listen to us and change it for the next playtest. He never tried to convince us to appreciate something that we didn't initially like. He never said, "Oh, that's just how the game is supposed to go." He actually took our advice. Phil's ability to accept critiques is so inspiring to me, and it really helped with my artistic process. I was given a lot of creative liberty when it came to designing the characters, and so I wanted to add LGBTQ and racial representation, because that's really important to me. The characters were already really diverse thanks to Alana, but they let me add on top of that. Even simple things like making a character non-binary or gender fluid can go a really long way. I'm really happy that I got to be a part of this change, and even though some of the representation isn't as obvious as I would have hoped, it's still nice to make a difference. This experience has really opened up my eyes to my flaws as a person. I'm really bad at time management and I burn myself out really easily. But now that I'm aware of them, I can start working to be better. I'd like to thank Phil for letting me work on 6 Winners with him. This experience has been incredible and I wouldn't change a thing. So, thank you.